Hello, hello, and happy Friday. We are live for another Fireside Friday chat. It's a really special one this week. We're live with Alex Laurie, who is our Global Director for Data Products in Verizon Connect. So I'm going to bring Alex in. Alex, how are you doing? Happy Friday.
Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome to Florence, Italy.
Yes, live straight out of Florence. So Florence is a really special place, actually. It's gone through some tough times over the last couple of years with COVID, right? You were almost there in the epicenter for Europe of what happened, right?
Yeah, I would say we're probably been the first one to realize we had a problem, right?
Yeah.
So the first weeks have been really intense, especially in the north of the country. Florence was a bit more quiet, but still a lot of concern. But then it became a global problem very quickly. So
yeah, how did you adapt when that kicked off over here in Verizon in Dublin? We went dark pretty quickly and made sure we could keep the network up and running, made sure that we would go back to productivity pretty quickly. But how did you were hit fast and hard, so how did you adapt at that time?
Yeah, it's a very good question. It has been interesting, let's say. But so we realized we had this problem, right? I actually was in Dublin and I flew back to Florence, and at the airport they were checking temperatures for the first time, right? That was unusual,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
And so that made me realize. I was traveling with a couple of colleagues. Made us realize that we had a serious issue. Until then it was just news on the from China, something happening far from us. So so I came back to Florence, and in those days, we were starting to get some serious problems in a couple of cities in the north of Italy. But at the same time, we were starting to see the first few data points, right? How that the number of cases was growing, and in other countries as well. So we started to have this conversation, say, okay, fine, let's make sure everyone is safe in Florence. Let's ask everyone to work from home and not coming to the office, minimize the risk for our crew. But then at the same time, I realized by looking at the data, since we're, after all, data guys, we realized that this was spreading everywhere. It was just a matter of a few days of delay, right, in the different countries. So I actually wrote an email. I remember writing an email to Peter Mitchell and to John Malanfi saying, hey, guys, I think we have a serious problem here because, this is Italy. We secure, we send home the Florence employees, but this is spreading quickly, and this is coming to Dublin, it's coming to the US, it's coming everywhere. It's just a matter of 3 to 5 to 7 days. Wow. And unfortunately, that was true. So it became a very global problem right away. And I remember the first few days having calls, every morning, every evening, in multiple time zones, and making sure everybody was safe, first of all, and then everybody had what they needed, for the family first, but also to continue to work. Because of course we have customers. Some of them are actually working in emergency services, right? So you want to make sure our products are up and running to support, especially the people that are in turn supporting us and everywhere, and everyone everywhere, right? So very quickly we were able to continue to work from home. Just we had to find a new pace, a new way to interact. But that was really impressive how the company. I was really impressed. I mean, for Verizon Connect, I was impressed. Verizon, they took all the people working in shops from night to day to the next morning and retrained all of them to work from home and supporting customers, not in stores, but from home and supporting customers. So it's been really impressive how the whole company turned around pretty quickly to support in a global pandemic.
And that's I think that's one of the big Verizon taglines that we all try to live up to, run to a crisis, right? But
I think for all of us was the first time that we really saw that, right? We were relatively new to Verizon, just joined a few years ago, and that was really the first crisis we've seen.
And a global crisis, like instant, as you say, a few days delay as a transition across the world, but virtually an instant crisis, right? Yeah, I remember Hans. He launched the up to speed, the live updates every single day. The business really took care of our employees first. There were no redundancies or anything like that. But running to a crisis, you hit the nail on the head there. Our customers are frontline, first responders in many cases, and big part of what we did as a business holistically across Verizon was to make sure that they were looked after, taken care of, had the services and equipment they needed to do their job well. That was pretty impressive. I remember another thing though, and I think it speaks to the DNA of V-Teamers, was a group of our colleagues over in America were doing some 3D printing of masks that they were given to hospitals as well. So it's very much so DNA right the way across the business. But you mentioned something there about being relatively new in the grand scheme of time to the business. Tell us a bit about your journey, because you've been through a couple of acquisitions at this stage, right?
Yeah. Good question. Yeah, it has been a very interesting journey. So it all started with me, computer scientist, recently graduated. I was actually as part of the PhD, I was traveling. I had the opportunity to spend some time in California with UC Davis, and there I had seen these beautiful companies around that area. But at the same time, I wanted to go back to Italy. I wanted to see some of that, but here in Europe, right, and in Italy specifically. So I came back. I started a company as a spin-off of the University of Florence. Back then, I was a postdoc researcher with the University of Florence, and that was the time where everybody in Europe was talking about startups, which probably were more common in the US, but definitely in Europe was a new thing, right? So this startup trend. And so I started that company, and all of a sudden my life changed. Right, I started to have calls. I remember when we introduced our first version of the software, which was a vehicle routing optimization SaaS product. I remember all of a sudden starting my days talking to Australia, New Zealand, and the afternoon was the US. We started to have customers in South America. So it was pretty impressive how quickly our landscape changed from being a startup in a few months, closing our office, working for some local customers, and then all of a sudden going global. And then after just a couple of years, I met Peter Mitchell, who reached out saying, "Hey guys, I think telematics is about the past, the present of our vehicles, our drivers, our customers, but you guys are planning the future. So why don't we bring all of this together and create this great platform, right, that can support our customer 360, right?" And that made sense. So in 2014, Fleetmatics acquired my little startup, Routist. And we became part of this great company, Fleetmatics, which was like a super fast growing startup, right? Very, very successful. Went public in 2012 to the New York Stock Exchange.
I remember that.
And the company was like probably 600 people globally. Wow. And then 2 years later, we were 1,600 people, and Verizon showed up, right? And boom, another acquisition. And so at this point, we became part of this big company, 130,000 people all over the world, and so we went pretty fast from being just 2-3 people in a room to being part of this global family. So yeah, it's been a very interesting journey, and continues today. I mean, it's every day is a new day. There's new challenges, new opportunities, and we definitely enjoy every day here.
Yeah, you've maintained that. I remember the IPO when Fleetmatics went public. That was the biggest thing to happen in Ireland in 10 years. It was the first. I think it was the first Irish tech IPO in 10 years, and it was broadsheet news. The front of every broadsheet newspaper was talking about it. It was absolutely massive, but all the while, this crazy hyper growth is going on. You've managed to maintain your academic roots and very close relationship with the university, right?
Yes. That is definitely our secret sauce, right? So we managed to keep that connection, and that works in many ways, right? We have students coming to Verizon Connect, right here in Florence. We have similar programs in other centers like Dublin, where they spend time with us. They, for the first time, they see what making software business mean, right? And how things work in the software business, and they learn really a new skills. And usually these students usually would stay with us then and would grow with us. So we have here in Florence, we have many that are now data scientists, researchers, software engineers. And that's one aspect. So students and universities, research centers are a way to really get new, fresh energy injected into our teams, and also we keep close connections to research centers to innovate our products, right? Yeah. And so not only the existing products, but also the ones we'll release in the future, right? So we work with cutting edge technology. We push the state of the art, and that's also done with relationship with universities. We have internal research teams at this point. We managed over the years to grow our research department, but also it's important to stay connected with other research centers because you keep basically you learn what others are studying. You learn about new methods, new tools, new problems, and that gives you also a valuable input in terms of how you can innovate your products to solve more customer problems or better, right? And so we have, of course, a relationship with the University of Florence, which is where most of us are coming from. I was a researcher there. We have a relationship with the University of Bologna. This is another interesting story. He's actually one of us, a former employee that at some point had an opportunity to join the university. That was his dream, right? And so we supported him and said, yeah, definitely, if you have this opportunity, you're a great researcher, you should go back there. But you know what? Let's continue to work together, because we like to work with you, we like to innovate together. And so we now have also a relationship with that university where with a research program that we run, and then we have other centers like the UC Berkeley. UC Berkeley has an important program in the space, AI for Intelligent Transportation Systems, which is called BEAR. And I just came back from San Francisco. I was there a couple of weeks ago to hear the latest and greatest. And there's a lot of cool stuff about reproducing a 3D world from a 2D image, a 2D video. There's reinforcement learning, supervised learning, unsupervised learning. There's a lot of improvement and a lot of progress on AI applied to domains that are relevant to us. So that's another very interesting program we're part of.
Yeah, it's amazing. One of our pitches when we're out there headhunting the world's best talent to join the world's best business, one of our pitches is it's always around AI, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and data, and what we're doing in here in Verizon.
Yeah, I always tell everybody when I talk about Verizon Connect that I really see this place as a playground for
yeah, right. You don't sound like a student at all now, Alex.
so it's really, so if you look at the current tech trends, right, and you look at web engineering, you look at mobile engineering, you look at IoT, connected vehicles, autonomous vehicles, everything that's happening around us, 5G, you look at AI and machine learning, we have all of them. We play with all of those toys. It's really impressive how we really got to the intersection of multiple trends in the tech industry, and work with all of them. I mean, if you take our products, some more, some less, but if you take the video product, which is the one I'm responsible for, and that my teams are building, is really you have web. We work building our products on AWS, leveraging the latest and greatest of Elastic Cloud. We look at new services that are coming up on the platform, but also in the industry. We then receive videos from dash cams we install in our customers' vehicles together with telematics units. So we get a lot of data in the form of video as well. And we use computer vision and machine learning to extract relevant information, and to support our customers. And we do that to also support valuable problems. I mean, our customers and their drivers driving around serving multiple industries and supporting us in our lives outside here are constantly risking their lives right on the road.
Yeah.
So when you drive around, especially when you drive most of your day, there's a lot of harsh braking, harsh accelerations, harsh cornerings that happens. We know statistically that every few severe events like this, there's an accident, and we know that unfortunately some of them might result into serious problems, right, for drivers. And I mean, just to give some numbers, because again, I'm a data I'm a data guy. If you just take, for instance, our North America, our revealed fleet in North America, you're talking about roughly 1 million vehicles. You can see that every year there's something like 30,000 accidents happening, right? Some of them are minor, some of them are important, serious, right? And unfortunately, we estimate that there might even be something around 400 fatalities, right? Of course, we don't know all of them, so because we don't have visibility on everything, but we know that statistically that's really the number. So we know that customers that use our technology to, fleet managers to educate their drivers and to create really risk awareness, drivers that get coached and get alerted when there's a risky situations happening. So we know that customers that are using our products, that are actively engaging with our products, that set up reports, alerts, they see a reduction of 30% in terms of risky situations, right? And that turns into, the number of lives you can save. And of course, our job is always to get more engagement from customers so we can save more lives, right? And that is through technology, right? So I think it's, going back to what you were saying, it's really impressive how we're aligned to most of the tech trends out there in the industry. But I find really fascinating and amazing how also we connect to real problems for society, right? And that really motivates all of us to work every day. And again, I wouldn't even define it work. I wake up in the morning, already excited about what I'll be doing right that day with my team, the people I'll be knowing, meeting and traveling, and there's a lot of interesting things that are happening around us that makes these a lot of fun.
I love that. I love that fact that the products you build save lives. I mean, that's, there is no greater boast than that, I think, than actually be able to impact people's lives. And there's various flavors of this as well, not just on accidents that yield terrible situations like that. But I remember Erin Cave gave a presentation on one of our Tech Connect events last year, and she spoke about one of the SMB, one of the mid-sized business leaders that she was working with, who had a fraudulent insurance claim, if I remember correctly, and our video products helped defend against that. But it was the type of thing, I think it was in America, if I remember correctly, it's the type of thing whereby if the claim went through, it would have wiped his business off the face of the planet. And it was a fraudulent claim, but the product stepped in and saved that man's business, his livelihood, and the people that work with him.
It's definitely of course the product would support a number of customer needs and problems, right? So it would solve those problems. One of those is definitely giving visibility on what's happening on the road or what has happened. And that's not the only case I've heard. Unfortunately, it happens. I remember at some point we actually heard from a customer that someone bumped into their vehicles on purpose, and there was a clear video of it thanks to our dash cam. So that was incredible. That was really incredible. I remember, the customer reaching out, say, "Hey guys, thank you very much for for what you do every day, and this is what we got from one of our vehicles, and that saves really a claim for us towards against our company."
Yeah, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. I remember talking with Peter Mitchell, actually. I think it was the same event that Erin Cave presented on first as well. And he spoke about the, actually, you know what? Jerry Ordinova, it's all about video, right? It's all about video today. Jerry Ordinova gave a presentation on the video products and showed us the video where she threw a cardboard cutout of Peter Mitchell in front of a car. And you remember that video, right? So it was brilliant. She played it live on the event. It was excellent. But when I was talking with Peter, he mentioned the future. You know, he spoke about, so you to your point there a moment ago. A lot of what we do with the video is for the customer is retrospective. They're looking back at footage, and we have our dash cams, record video, comes back into the platform, and so on. But there's a future to that, a future iteration to that. And I think Peter spoke to being able to predict what's going to happen using the video products if you don't change trajectory pretty damn quickly.
Yeah, that's definitely our aspiration, right? So, and it's not just video, right? This is telematics as well in general, right? You collect data, you get a better understanding of what's happening, right? And you're able to see trends. And trends, while they don't predict exactly 100% the future, right? It's not a crystal ball, but they tell you where you're going. And you know, if every day you're on the road and you have very aggressive behaviors, right? Or in turn, you drive in very dangerous areas, right? Because you know, areas where you have a high number of accidents, right, are more risky than others, right? And so the combination of these two can definitely tell you the time to next accident, we call it, right? So it's statistically, it's an indicator you can build by looking at trends and looking at other contextual information, and you can get there, right? So our goal is really to create risk awareness and really support our customers. And on one hand, supporting them while they're driving, so alerting them of you know, imminent risk of accident. On the other hand, working with fleet managers to really create a safety culture, right? And that comes also together with safety programs, with trainings, safe driving. You know, there's a lot of things that companies working in different industries put around their fleets, right? But the goal is really that one, right? And our role as you know, technologies is to leverage as much as possible advances in technology to better support that training, right, for drivers. But that really results in important results. And these days, the focus is not just to control, right, your fleet. I mean, a few years ago, we were talking about dash cams to control what your driver was doing. That's not the case today. You know, one of the biggest problems for fleets is attrition of drivers, and there's a shortage of drivers out there, right? So a driver is an important resource for the company beyond being a person, and therefore his life being very valuable. And so the goal is really to train people and grow them professionally so that they can be better drivers. You know, having less risk of, you know, problems for their life, but also for the life of people around their vehicles, right? Because, you know, how many times you've been involved in accidents or, you know, or events that are depending from others, right? That's another, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So way more than just dots on a map. Way more than just dots on a map. Could you argue that Verizon Connect is a data company, an information company?
Oh yeah, I've been telling that from the beginning. I've been saying that for years. Right? We are definitely a data company. Our job is really to collect as much information as possible. And information can be in terms of data points, can be in terms of videos from which you extract additional information. So video is data as well. And so all of this information, right, is contained in all this media we get, right? Yeah. So our job is to distill the relevant information for our customers and to serve that information back to them in a form that let them, you know, actionate that information and get tangible results. That is on the safety front, to, you know, meaning really saving lives and reduce accidents, meaning saving costs related to those events, but also is about the environment, for instance, right? There's other topics. We've talked about safety, but there's other topics where, you know, that we actively work on, which is reducing idling, reducing the mileage, right, and improving efficiency of the fleet so that we reduce the CO2 emissions, right? So there's a lot we can do with the information we get from the different media, and we can really transform these back into value for our customers.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it makes sense. And I mean, now more than ever before, and with the, the coming transition to electric vehicles and so on, the environment matters more than ever before. We're now crisis points, right? So it shows you how important our technology is. So here's a question for you then. We're coming up on time now. Your group is hiring. You're giving me a lot of headaches with hiring, right? So the bar is high, right?
And thank you very much for the work you're doing every day.
No
Let me say
problem.
that.
No problem. That goes out to the team, right? So all of the crew working hard on it. Who are you hiring at the moment? What are the main types of profile you're looking for? And that's one question. But the second question is, it's kind of a double whammy. What's the coolest thing about working in your group specifically? Why should they come and join you?
Okay, so the first question is, we're hiring on many fronts. So my group is very heterogeneous. So we're hiring on the web engineering side, mobile engineering. So looking for iOS engineers, Android engineers, software engineering tests, to support both web and mobile development. We're also hiring on our data stack, right? On people working on our data stack. So we're constantly looking for data engineers and data scientists. We're looking for CI/CD engineers or build engineers, if you want to call them the way. But those people that creates the automation, the infrastructure that let us deliver on web platforms, but let us deliver also on devices, right? So we work also on that front. So we're looking for hardware engineers, for instance. So I would say it's really an heterogeneous group, and therefore there's many opportunities in the group. So I definitely would encourage everyone interested to look at the Verizon Connect positions, and because there's definitely a lot of interesting positions open. And in terms of my group, well, I would say it's Verizon Connect. What I love of Verizon Connect, beyond the technological aspect that of course makes me very, very excited, is also the culture, right? And this genuine attitude that we have to enjoy what we do, enjoy relationships, enjoy people, right? People are at the center, and also the ambition that we have always to hire the best talent, right? And that creates an environment which is unique, right? You have a very diverse, multicultural, distributed environment of very smart people, and it's unique. So that's really, it's really fun. You can learn a lot working in here, and the scale that we have is massive. So every single problem, even the more simple engineering problem, is at the massive scale, meaning that you need to know what you're doing, right? Or you need to learn how to do that properly, right? Because the scale is massive. So every aspect, that being computer vision, that being machine learning, that being web engineering, it's done at the scale that requires very good engineering.
Yeah, great. That's brilliant. That's just brilliant. There's so much opportunity there, So, and one final thought I just wanted to really quickly just touch on was that hybrid has, our work forward model, our hybrid model has changed things for you. Although the offices are in Florence in Italy, I know your teams are, right the way across the world, but in terms of Florence, and we're hiring heavily there at the moment, as well as Dublin and everywhere else. But you can now look at people who may be further afield, who may be down in Rome or over in Milan or different locations, right? So the work forward model has opened up Italy to you.
I've been really impressed by the work for program when Verizon started to talk about it and explain what what we wanted to roll out to our locations. And in Italy, we basically have a flexibility to work with people in the entire country at this point. Because if you consider Florence is like 1.5 hours from Milan, 1.5 hours from Rome with the train, right? So in this new world, I think the pandemic, one of the few positive things that the pandemic will leave and has brought is really the flexibility, especially in an industry like software, right, where you don't need heavy equipment to work, right? You just need your laptop and good ideas, right?
Yeah.
So yes, that's true. We're now opening these positions basically for the entire country, and the goal will be to find a good balance of getting to know each other, seeing each other once in a while, to really work on the relationships, to work on having fun together, right? Because you can do that on video, right? But it's better when we're together. And we go play paintball or a nice dinner in a beautiful.
Hang on a minute. So you bring the team out and shoot them? Is that what you're saying?
Well, actually, you know what happens? They shoot at me.
Oh, I can't.
I usually have to run in those situations, but
I can't imagine.
But last Friday we were in an escape room, so we really loved it. We were doing like the Indiana Jones one, and we spent an hour with the other colleagues trying to figure out how to get out of that room, and it was really nice. And we had a beautiful dinner all together. But you need these things to connect, to get to know each other, and then you can work hybrid from wherever you want. What I would say is, again, it'll be important to find a good balance, because remember, there's also valuable learning that happens when we're together, right? And the same applies to me when I travel often to Dublin, for instance, to meet Nick, to meet Power, to meet Peter Mitchell, John Malanfi, and the other colleagues, right? Because we all learn from each other. We beyond having fun, when we're together, right? And enjoying the relationships as well. It's a new world, and we'll be lean also in this new world. So we'll learn as we go, and we'll tweak our daily operations, right, according to this new reality. But it's very exciting.
Yeah, it is. And just speaking of that, I mean, that kind of collaboration you get from being in person. I see you have the customer love hack sign just behind you. I'm wearing my love hack T-shirt here as well. So hopefully more collaboration.
There's actually a new hackathon coming up. It's in a month, 40 days. And I'm co-leading the innovation love hack, it's called this time, together with Donald O'Mahony, our head of UX.
Yeah.
And so even this year it'd be as well. It'd be very, very interesting. So we're really enjoying working on it. So it'd be fun.
And Italy always has finalists, right? You always have finalists in the hackathons.
I mean, definitely. We're definitely always there, but I would say we always see very good ideas coming from all over the place, right? It's going to be interesting to see what our teams are thinking, right? What they're how they see we can innovate and create additional value to our customers, or support more of the problems we're solving today, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, final question. Who should I talk to next?
Have you talked to Donald
O'Mahony? I have not. I will ping him now immediately after this call. Donald's brilliant. He's presented at a couple of our events, and his story is just phenomenal. So I'll
definitely also in my team, I would nominate Francesco Sambo, our chief scientist.
Francesco. Yes. Great. I know Francesco well.
It's good crack, as you say in Dublin.
I know, right? Alex, thanks a million. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us.
Thank you.
All right. Cheers. Take care. Okay, folks, there you have it. We have talked tech. We've talked machine learning, artificial intelligence. We've talked how Verizon Connect products save lives on the road every day. So very serious impact to the world, positive impact to the world. We've talked PhDs, we've talked flexible working, the work forward model. So look, as Alex said, he's hiring heavily at the moment. Data engineering, data scientists, developers, testers, build, DevOps, build and release engineers. So if you want to hear about careers on Alex's team or any of the other teams in Verizon Connect, just comment below. Ping a comment, ping a connection request, email the team. The team will all be available to talk about it. Connect with Alex as well. Connect with him on LinkedIn. Let us know. We'll reach out to you and we'll talk about all of the opportunities that we have. And what I will do now is leave you with our Credo video, as always, that tells you a little bit more about Verizon culture. So happy Friday.
From where we work to where they live. From our technology to supporting theirs. From each and every one of us to each and every one of them. Everything we do affects everything they do. That's why how we work, what we believe, our values make all the difference.
We share our success with the community
to make the world in which we work better than it was yesterday.
We keep our commitments to each other and our customers.
We know teamwork enables us to serve our customers better and faster.
We focus outward on the customer, not inward.